Techland is slowly chipping away at Dying Light 2 Stay Human and making this game better and better, or as good as it can be, okay? The big news we got yesterday was they changed their post-launch roadmap and they delayed their first DLC, which is a story-based DLC that runs parallel with the main game. Now, if you look at the post-launch roadmap, one of the biggest things is instead of getting the DLC in June, it has now been pushed back to September. So it's just a small little delay, and I think most people will agree it's probably a good idea. If Techland themselves feel like the DLC isn't up to their standards or is not up to the standards of the community and they do a small little delay, it's probably worth it in the long run. There is no rush on this thing, guys. Just get it right, get it done, try to make it as good as possible. Other than the fact that I think everything is just being delayed these days, it's just the time that we live in terms of gaming. Let's take a look at the new content for now June and August. But instead of getting the DLC, we're getting new content, and it's Chapter 1, In the Footsteps of a Night Runner. Now, what is this new content in June and August going to deliver? Well, instead of being a badass GRE agent, it looks like you are a Night Runner agent. It says agent and rank system. There's also missions and bounties, and this is awesome to see, Techland, because we were talking about this in a couple previous videos of how we would like to see bounties. There's a lot of cool content they can do with this because there's several different factions. You got the Renegades, the PKs, the Survivors. So these bounty missions, like, yes, they can make some really cool different bounty missions. Now, it does say rewards next to that, so hopefully we're going to get some new loot. My personal hope, right, thing that I've been pushing for, guys, in these videos is to remove the cap on the stash and to add a lot of new weapons to the loot pool. When you get to max level, you want to get the top gear. It's a looting game. It says new enemies, so there's going to be new enemies. All right, so that's the new content for June and August. Now, let's get back to the agent and rank system. The only question I have, shouldn't this be called, like, the footsteps of the pilgrim? It's the footsteps of the night runner. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe depending on the decisions you make, like, the night runners aren't a thing in Dying Light 2. Like, Frank dies, and if you join the PKs, you give the tower to Juan. I think his name is Juan, if I remember correctly. But the night runners aren't necessarily a thing depending on the decisions that you make during the game. So I don't know. That's one thing that like kind of stood out to me. But it says in the footsteps of a night runner. There's going to be a new rank system. Okay, guys, I'm not sure how this is going to all play out. I mean, we're going to have to wait and see. But I think any new rank system of some kind is like a big deal, and hopefully it's implemented well. That's really all I can say at this point. Not sure exactly how this works. You know, Chapter 1 is like maybe part of the new ranking system. You get missions and bounties, and then Chapter 2 is like the second half of the rank system, and obviously more missions and bounties. And I do like this because I think the bounties could be really cool. It doesn't have to be anything spectacular, Techland, but like you just go to the different factions and there's some missions and bounties based on kind of where you fit. Give us good rewards for this stuff. Anything you do with the new content, make sure there's good rewards, whether it's like gear and outfits or new weapons. People will love that. People love rare shit in video games, okay? New enemies, I don't know what new enemies there would be. I don't know. They're doing this off the top of my head, guys. You let me know what you think on new enemies. All right, the last thing is their 5 years of support for Dying Light 2. It'll probably be longer than that, honestly, but they're just committing to 5 years of support. Now, it does say second story DLC number 2. It just says future. It doesn't give an exact date. Now, the good thing is, guys, I believe the second story DLC is going to be like the big expansion, following type expansion that we got in Dying Light 1. I believe that's what this DLC is going to be. A whole new map, a whole new thing. It's basically going to be like Dying Light 3. We're going to talk about that more in the future. Now, it says new content, weapons, enemies, stories, events, free and paid DLCs, and much more. It looks like they're taking a page from their first game and everything that they did, all the content they put out. Like, yes, they put out a lot of DLCs. Some were free, some were paid, some were cheap, some were just decent, some were really good. Different modes, different game modes, all that stuff. So it's just going to take time for this game to get to where it needs to be to even be able to compete with Dying Light 1. I think it's going to get there, though, because regardless how you feel about Dying Light 2, after they fix a bunch of stuff, they make this game better. They do put out the big expansion DLC. They add all the new content, the new weapons, the enemies, the stories, the free events, the free DLCs, even the paid DLCs. It's going to be good, guys. It's just going to take a little time. But the good thing to look forward to is this June and August is the new content, and we get to see this whole new agent rank system, new weapons, rewards, and new bounty missions. Let's see what you got, Techland. Show us how much work you put in this and show us how good it really is, and we'll be the judge of it. The community will be the judge of it. Any things you guys got to add to this, definitely leave it in the comments and drop a like for me. It really helps the channel out and just help grow things and try to get things done when it comes to Dying Light 2. Subscribe to the channel, turn post notifications on. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Hurry up! Oh my god! Oh my god!